Welcome to the November 20th Glenville Town Board meeting. I now call it to order, and I invite Chaplain Diaz to come up and give the invocation. All rise, please.
Join me as you're able. Divine Creator, we come together in gratitude with our heart full of appreciation. We honor you for your loving presence that envelops us at this moment. Your grace has brought us to this moment, and it will guide us on tonight's meeting and our journey home. I ask tonight for a special blessing for Anne Pelletier as she concludes her 35 years of service. Protect her and watch over her as her new life journey begins. We express our thanks for the purpose you have instilled in us to nurture your creation and to love our neighbor as we cherish ourselves. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chaplain. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramatar?
Here.
Councilman Galuli?
Here.
Councilman Aragosa?
Here.
Councilman Kirkham?
Here. And we'll now turn to town council reports. And I'll start on my left with Councilman Aragosa.
A week ago Monday, we celebrated Veterans Day at the Legacy Park. It was a nice event. It was nice to hear from the speakers. Josh, I want to say you did a great job filling in for the supervisor on that day. The next thing I have to talk about tonight was another of our Fresh Tables events over at the Lincoln School. Very, very well attended. Lots of people at this time of year looking for help with, the day-to-day feeding of their families. So that's out there. Just an added sidebar to that. We had our first meeting last night of the Schenectady Shares program. Schenectady Shares is a program that we start collection the first week of January, go through for 6 weeks, collect food in different locations throughout the county, and then we distribute it to all of the pantries that are listed throughout Schenectady County, all the way from our pantry here in Scotia, the small pantry at Immaculate Conception, all the way to Bremen Corners in Duanesburg. So it's a great program. Last year we raised a little over $25,000 and about 25,000 pounds worth of food. So this year our goal is a little higher than that, and I'm hoping that we can maybe have a food collection box right here in Town Hall. And lastly, I received an email last week and a phone call yesterday from Ryan McCune, who is with Next Amp Solar, talking about the solar project on Van Voorst. He's interested in coming back and possibly sitting down with us, the board, during a planning session and just rehashing their project and having a conversation with us about that, and hopefully we can do that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We can have a conversation about it. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
And over to Councilman Galuli.
No report.
Thank you. Councilman Ramatar?
No reports.
Thank you very much. And we are through with town council reports. We'll move on to, we have 2 public hearings scheduled for this evening. And the first public hearing is for all people wishing to be heard about the grass and brush and weed administrative fees under Chapter 99. This basically is for properties that have been neglected. We go provide the service and then we levy the fees. So I'm going to open that public hearing. The public hearing is now open for all individuals wishing to be heard. Is there anyone wishing to be heard? Going one more time. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing no one? That public hearing is now closed. We'll move on to item 6, And this is a public hearing now for anybody wishing to be heard and interested in an extension to 30. It is a sewer district number 9. It is adding a parcel which is located at 111 Glenville Drive. And anybody wishing to be heard, I will now open that public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard on this matter? Anyone wishing to be heard? Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, we'll now close that public hearing and we move to privilege of the floor. We have one individual signed up for the privilege of the floor, Amanda Barone. Hello, Amanda. Welcome.
They actually have some packets that I can show you before.
Great. Yep, come on up.
You know, like,
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Can everybody hear me okay? Kind of, yes. So I'm Amanda Barone.
Second.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry about that.
Technology.
There we go.
Okay. So I'm Amanda Barone, and I live at 6 North Holmes Street in Scotia. I own Girl Fight Fitness, and one of our former locations was at 126 Saratoga Road in Glenville. And I previously served on the Glenville Town Board, as some of you know, in 2023. I'm here today to address the town's consideration regarding opting in to allow cannabis dispensaries. While I'm not opposed to cannabis dispensaries in Glenville, I want to stress the importance of care regarding selecting the location and its impact on the community and neighboring businesses, which is something our neighbors in Schenectady are experiencing right now with their decision to greenlight dispensaries right away without adequately preparing their zoning laws in advance. I understand one of the locations under consideration in Glenville is neighboring where I formerly had a business location as of September of this year at 126 Saratoga Road. As a former tenant, I shared that property with Upstate CBD, now also known as Upstate Canaco, which has expressed interest in evolving that location into a cannabis dispensary as they have done with their Union Street location in Schenectady. There are several concerns that need to be taken into account regarding opening a dispensary at that location or any comparable location, including proximity to children's activities and daycares, proximity to any military bases or facilities, the impact on closely neighboring businesses, public safety, including an increase in potential targeting and crime, and the impact on being so close to town center. These things, along with what I've witnessed during my tenancy there as a neighbor to Upstate CBD, keeping in mind that Upstate CBD was not presently distributing cannabis in Glenville, contributed to my decision for my business to vacate that property at 126 Saratoga Road. While that wasn't the only reason I left, it was a very important one that made it an easier decision to leave. So some background, I'm familiar with the care that the board is taking regarding this decision when I served on the board myself, and I understand and support that the board may be open to proceeding, but cautiously, and with the consideration of learning lessons from other municipalities who have opted into cannabis dispensaries. For example, in the case of the city of Schenectady, the city is learning hard lessons about moving too fast and is now voicing regrets and considering a dispensary moratorium until they can create a better zoning plan. I also want to add, as some of you are aware, that I was prepared to recuse myself from this issue when I served on the board because dispensary zoning discussions progressively continue to be centered around a particular Glenville location, 126 Saratoga Road, where I had a business location at the time and would have been neighboring any greenlit dispensary, posing a conflict of interest. My views are that this decision should not be driven by a particular location and its stakeholders, but instead driven by what makes the most sense for our community as a whole. I want to make it clear that I know the board did not drive these location-centric discussions. They seem to be motivated strongly by the key stakeholders at the property, namely the owner of Upstate Canaco, Donald Andrews, and the landlord at 126 Saratoga Road, Thomas Pay, who both made appearances at the Glenville Town Board work sessions when cannabis zoning criteria was discussed. This outside pressure to consider 126 Saratoga Road, even against its violations to zoning criteria and setbacks that the board had drafted, made it clear to me if these types of discussions continue to be centered on this location, I could no longer participate. Luckily, for unrelated reasons, the issue was tabled and not revisited during the rest of my term. So moving on to the areas of concern. First is proximity to children's activities. A dispensary located at 126 Saratoga Road would be right next door to Pays Taekwondo, which offers martial arts and classes to children. Per the Daily Gazette's coverage of upstate Canaco's Union Street location, parents and businesses have voiced concern about the dispensary on Union Street being located so close to children's activities there, including a dance school and other martial arts schools. In your packet, I've included Chief Janik, who's here, email in January 2023 that I obtained via a FOIL request, where he expressed that one of the concerns he discussed with the Glenville Planning Director, Tony Tozzi, is a dispensary located at that location being in such close proximity to established daycare facilities and the Taekwondo school specifically. On top of this, a dispensary at 126 Saratoga Road would be located next to the National Guard base, a federally governed entity. I remember a board meeting where concerns were voiced about having a cannabis dispensary, which is only legalized on the state level, so close to the base. A lapse in judgment by one of the servicemen or women could lead to severe discipline and immediate discharge, since possession of cannabis would be considered a federal offense. In your packet, you'll find a letter dated February 8th, 2023 from Colonel Donaldson, Vice Commander of the 109th Airlift Wing, stating, "We encourage the town of Glenville officials to consider a ban on dispensaries, or to only consider a location that would be at least 2 miles from any military property." An accompanying letter dated February 9th, 2023 from Chief Janik elaborates, "All military personnel are prohibited from using or possessing marijuana. Violations of federal law and military policy may result in immediate dismissal. They were very concerned that a large number of their active duty and reservists are young, impressionable individuals who should not be presented with a dispensary in close proximity to the base." Another consideration is the impact on local neighboring businesses. Admittedly, I'm biased, since I was a business owner directly impacted by the potential future dispensary, and in seeing the potential for their transition to a full dispensary, it became one of the factors influencing my decision to vacate. However, I'm not alone. Some of you might be familiar with the business Be Inspired, which actually started in Scotia and then moved to Union Street in Schenectady. Per a Daily Gazette article last year, they cited complications relating to upstate Canaco's Union Street dispensary presence as an influencing decision to relocate away from Union Street. Their concerns included long lines outside the door, public parking strains, and loitering individuals outside the dispensary, deterring potential customers from visiting their business. Similarly, a pet store in the vicinity with private parking stressed their frustrations with dispensary customers parking illegally in their lot and taking parking away from their customers. In a June 2023 Gazette article, Schenectady Mayor Gary McCarthy said, quote, "I was not completely happy with the choice of Upper Union Street," unquote. And he further told the Gazette that the city had experienced issues with the rollout of upstate Canaco that his administration would not like to repeat. Along the lines of disruption to neighboring businesses is the perception of lack of public safety. In your packet, you'll see photographs that I've taken at 126 Saratoga Road over the course of a one-year period from November of 2023 and forward, showing disabled, damaged, and unregistered vehicles that progressively accumulated over the course of that year. Per my discussion with the landlord at 126 Saratoga Road, these were cannabis delivery vehicles being used by upstate Canaco's Union Street dispensary. These demolished vehicles were being stored permanently below my business location and created the perception of an unsafe space for my customers. When the first one appeared almost a year ago in November 2023, the landlord stated that the car was hit by a tree branch. After almost a year, the total of wrecked vehicles grew to 3 disabled, destroyed, and unregistered cannabis delivery vehicles being housed long-term in our shared parking lot at 126 Saratoga Road, and specifically directly beneath my business storefront. While I was told as a tenant that all 3 vehicles were victims of environmental accidents, I want to remind the board that according to the New York State Office of Cannabis Management, these delivery vehicles are allowed to carry up to $20,000 of product at any time. Do you see the cars in the photos? They're sedans. The vulnerability alone, that these are essentially the equivalent of armored bank cars without the armor, calls into concern whether these could be prime targets for theft and vandalism. And I want to make it clear that this is my own statement of fear and speculation. The landlord insists that all 3 of these separate car totaling incidents happened over a one-year period and were environmentally caused. However, regardless of the cause, the public perception of decreased safety, evidenced by the feedback from my customers while I operated at that location, is real regardless of the actual cause of this destruction. My customers were afraid to visit my business out of fear that their cars would be similarly vandalized, or as a women-focused business, walking to their parking lot, their cars in the parking lot at night might be unsafe for them. On top of that, you'll find a police report from the Glenville Police dated December 1st, 2023, where a neighboring business reported the situation out of concern that the car was stolen or abandoned after an accident. Sometimes perception has a greater impact. And just as rundown storefronts and broken windows along a street block create a strong perception of the surrounding environment, this gives a strong message to people seeing that happen in our town. I promise I'm almost done. The final concern I want to address is having a dispensary located so close to town center. Glenville is a town of families with great schools, great parks, and great places for community. We have the Christmas tree lighting event coming up soon, right on the corner of Glenridge and 50, within walking distance of where this dispensary could possibly be. With town center being the main hub of Glenville, I worry that a location so close to town center will affect the perceived safety and family-focused nature of our town. For the Daily Gazette, even the Schenectady City Council has expressed concerns with one of the recent dispensaries going in so close to Proctor's Theater. And it's a huge tourism draw, and they're saying that it might send the wrong message to visitors. The city of Schenectady has made it no mystery that they are full of regrets regarding how they handled this cannabis dispensary rollout. They're currently faced with an overabundance of dispensary applications, a poor zoning framework, and trying to figure out where to put these locations. Schenectady City Council President Porterfield said, "I wanted to opt out just so we wouldn't be here, but we are here now, and now we have to try to figure out a remedy." Councilwoman Patrick added, "I think some of our decisions might have been different had we had a clearer picture from the start." Things have escalated to the point where Schenectady is exploring a 90-day moratorium on new dispensary applications to give them time to update their zoning. While this will help with new dispensaries going forward, it can't correct the mistakes they've made so far, since any established dispensaries are already grandfathered in. In conclusion, I want to make it clear that I'm not opposed to cannabis dispensaries in the town. However, I want to stress that the importance of caution and careful consideration regarding where to allow these dispensaries is at the utmost importance. From my personal experience with what I'm seeing as a tenant at 126 Saratoga Road, I would strongly discourage any consideration of a dispensary so close to both town center and so close to conflicting organizations, military bases, businesses, and family activities. Keep in mind, my negative personal experiences are that of a neighbor to a CBD shop, not yet an open dispensary. And as I stated previously, the prospect of this business becoming a future dispensary, worsening my experience as a business owner and the experiences of my customers, was a significant deciding factor, amongst other reasons, as to why my business vacated the property. I feel that a location in a more rural area, such as West Glenville, particularly along the Route 5 corridor, would be better suited for such a dispensary. I would also highly recommend that any dispensary be established as a standalone building with its own designated non-public parking and set away from neighboring businesses that could be adversely impacted by its presence. One of the reasons Glenville did not opt in right away is because the board was wise enough to foresee the problems that Schenectady is currently experiencing. Schenectady's lack of foresight and planning is now causing an unfair burden on their community and negatively impacting the area.
Amanda,
Yes,
are you almost there?
I am. I was going to tell you something that you're going to really want to hear.
All right.
I was actually going to say, this is something you guys don't hear often. You guys were right. You made the right call. And I hope that you're going to use these lessons from Schenectady as a learning experience and be confident going into the decision that you're going to make. It's the right decision for the direction of Glenville. I literally had 2 lines left.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amanda. Appreciate your remarks. Thank you. All right. Is there anyone, if there's anyone else wishing to be heard at privilege of the floor, please step forward to the podium and state your name. Privilege of the floor is still open. Anyone wishing to be heard? Anyone wishing to be heard? Privilege of the floor is now closed. We'll now move to item number 8, and we're going to recognize Ann Pelletier this evening. So, Ann, if you please step forward. All right. Thanks for coming out, Ann. All right. We're going to let you talk. But I just wanted to present you with this and thank you on behalf of the town of Glenville for all of your service. So this citation reads, presented to Anne Marie Pelletier, whereas it is a longstanding tradition of the office of the town of Glenville to proudly recognize the hard work,
knowledge, and dedication of its employees who provide service necessary to the community function for the sake of its residents. And whereas Ann Pelletier is one such employee, and whereas you, Ann Pelletier, have worked diligently in serving the town of Glenville in your various roles over 35 years of your tenure, and have demonstrated selfless commitment to the town and its residents that warrant attention and gratitude. And whereas the town of Glenville is proud to commend you for your service here and extend a heartfelt congratulations to you, Ann Pelletier, as you retire and transition to a new stage in life. I now therefore, Robert J. Kirkham, Jr., Acting Town Supervisor of the town of Glenville, do hereby present this citation to you on this occasion of celebration of 35 years of service, an official re-retirement, and in fitting recognition and heartfelt appreciation of your dedication and exemplary service to our community. And congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll give you the podium, and then I'm going to also invite the chief up. I think, Chief, you want to say a couple words? Beforehand? Sure. I mean, hey, listen, we want Ann to close the show.
No, you stay right here next to me. Everybody's here for you. So thank you, Acting Supervisor Kirkham, for the fine words in that citation. We appreciate that. As most of you know, Ann came to the police department in 2008 when Chief Bernali was here. You joined us down by the administrative offices there and by the chief's office. And we had many good conversations. And we also, being in that office as lieutenant, got to hear some real fun conversations that you were having on the phones. You had a lot of visitors too. A lot of people came in. There was a lot of chatting going on down there, but that's okay. We won't talk about that here. What I am going to miss, Ann, is I'm going to miss our conversations every morning about how we're going to save the world through equal thoughts and some of our things that we've had conversations about. Bob, I know you had all those fine words, but Ann did put her application back in with the police department. So where's Vicky and Julie? We're going to have to call civil service and create another job title for Ann when she comes back. Just kidding. But why not? Let's do it. Well, congratulations, and I'm sure we're not going to be far apart. We live close together, so we'll see each other a lot. And I hope that you enjoy your retirement because you really deserve it. You're welcome.
Thank you to Acting Supervisor Kirkham and the town board for the citation. Special thanks to Chief Stephen Janik and my police department family. I would also like to thank my husband, Dan, our son, Brandon, and his girlfriend, Ashley, my sister, Chris, and her husband, Eddie, for being here with me this evening. I began my career with the town on September 11th, 1989 in the supervisor's office. For several years, I worked in the finance office. In 2008, I was offered the position in the police department where I have worked for the last 16 years. It has been an honor and a privilege to have been employed by the town of Glenville, and especially in the police department. Again, thank you for the recognition presented to me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
At least the Gazette wasn't here. The last picture in the Gazette was horrible.
I know you guys do. I was gonna take a quick break and let you guys get to your meeting. Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone. All right, wonderful. Well, we'll get back to our agenda for this evening, and we will move on to supervisor comments. And the only comments that I'll make some brief comments this evening, and I will say that I did hear that the Veterans Day event was well attended at Legacy, and I do thank you all for filling in for me, Councilman, and Josh. I do appreciate that as well. Julie, I know you were there as well, so thanks for being there and representing the town. And it's just an amazing facility that it's been a great partnership between the Legacy Project and the town of Glenville, and we're extremely proud of what that means in our community. It really represents the dedication of the men and women who serve our country every single day. So we're extremely proud of that. Also, Amanda kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but we're going to be announcing that this meeting, and then we'll have a meeting in December, but the tree lighting will be happening, and that'll be happening down right in the town center, down by the clock, where the Christmas tree is, by the bank. And then we're going to be moving up here this year, which is really exciting. We'll come into a nice warm environment, get some cocoa and some coffee and some goodies, and maybe even a horse-drawn carriage. So, Julie, thank you for your efforts with the committee as well. And we've been talking about this for a while. I really look forward to it. So, anyway, and last, I'll just close with, holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving. I hope families get together and they share some precious time together and make some memories. So everybody have a safe Thanksgiving as well. And that's about all I have. So I'm going to close with that. Now I'm going to move on to this evening's agenda, and we'll move on to resolution number 10. And this is a resolution approving the levy for the brush and weed collection. And this is shown in Schedule A. So I'll take a motion.
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so basically this is a motion or resolution to charge folks who didn't want to mow their lawn for
Correct.
us to go ahead and have it mowed for them.
Correct. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Galooly?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes. Resolution passes. On to resolution 11, and this is adopting the proposed extension of 30, the sewer district number 9, and it is known as, the known location as 111 Glen Hill Drive. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. And as stated, this is just approving that location as part of that sewer district. Is there any further discussion?
So this is an existing home that has a septic system that wants to use our sewer system to take their water back out of town, which, is anytime we can get additional people onto our sewer system, it's all not only environmentally good, it helps keep the cost down for the folks around them.
Absolutely. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Galooly?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes. Resolution passes. On to 12, resolution authorizing the acting supervisor to enter into a contract with Bruce Fence for the police security fence protection. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
And
Yeah.
Go, you
Go ahead,
go
Mike.
first.
Go ahead.
I,
Don't fight over it. Go ahead, Mike.
again, it's something that it's long needed. I'm glad to see we're getting it done. And thank you.
Yep. Councilman?
No, I was just going to say that, as stated, it's a resolution authorizing the acting town supervisor to enter into that agreement with Bruce Fence Company. There's also some fund transfers involved in this resolution as well, and the full amount of $57,493 is going to be covered through ARPA funds, I believe.
Yes, sir, that is correct. And this was a sealed bid. They were the lowest bidder, and we're going to award Bruce Fence. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramotard?
Yes.
Councilman Galuli?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 13, resolution authorizing the hire of up to 2 seasonal recreational attendants. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
As you mentioned, Acting Supervisor, this is our resolution is to hire up to 2 seasonal recreational employees for the period of December 21st to March 16, 2025, at a budget rate of $16 per hour with no benefits.
Yes, Council. Thank you. Any further discussion? I'll just add that maybe for once we'll get a little bit of snow and some cold weather, and we can actually utilize these attendants. It'll be nice to have a skating rink in our park. So, seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Councilman Ramotard?
Yes.
Councilman Galuli?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 14, resolution authorizing a change from discovery clerk to part-time clerk for the police department position. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, as stated, this is a resolution to amend Resolution 175-2024, changing Gretchen Braun's title from discovery clerk to part-time clerk, effective September 4th, 2024.
Thank you. I'll just add that this is entirely just a clerical change. That the part-time clerk position is recognized within civil service. The discovery clerk was not created, so there's no change in responsibilities or the hire of Gretchen. We're pleased to bring her on. This is solely a clerical issue. So will clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramotard?
Yes.
Councilman Galuli?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes, resolution passes. Welcome aboard again, Gretchen. All right, I'll have to do a citation with as many, reappointments as Ann received, so I'll be looking forward to that. On to resolution 15, and this is a resolution designating myself, Robert Kirkham, as the voting delegate and Julie Davenport as an alternative voting delegate for the Association of Towns 2025 annual meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
And any discussion? I will just add that last year, Julie attended and she was the voting delegate. This year I plan on attending, and if for some reason I can't, Julie will be the alternate. So we look forward to going there and getting all kinds of useful information and maybe some training, and it'll be great. So, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramotard?
Yes.
Councilman Galuli?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 16, and this is a resolution scheduling a public hearing to be held right here Wednesday, December 4th, and it is for all people wishing to be heard about a zoning change for signage on the Freeman's Bridge corridor. So this is digital signage within the Freeman's Bridge corridor section. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Just it's a resolution calling for a public hearing, which, as I'm always on the record as saying, more public hearings, the more we get public input, and more public input, the better this town board can do its job.
Correct. Thank you. And will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt,
Yes.
Councilman Blue,
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham.
Yes, on to 17, and it is a resolution approving the minutes from the regular town board meeting held on November 6th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
This is just a resolution approving the town board, which Julie has sent out to us all in our email, and thank you for your efforts, Julie.
Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt.
Yes.
Councilman Blue.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham.
Yes. On to resolution 18, resolution approving the monthly reports for October 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. And any discussion?
Again, it's we're approving reports which we've all received throughout through our emails, and thank the department heads for getting them out to us.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt.
Yes.
Councilman Blue.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham.
Yes. On to the last item, new business. I'll start on my left, Councilman Aragosa.
No new business, but I will wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Blue
No new business for tonight.
and Councilman Ramichardt.
Nothing new. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving all, and I have really nothing new beyond that. So I'll take a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. We're adjourned.
Hard to believe it's Thanksgiving already.